wizard.
Now, I got a couple of different things I want to do. Now, we're gonna do a demo on wood piercing, but we don't have a compressor, so I can only talk to you about it. And wood piercing is it's fun, it's interesting, and you can do a lot of things with it. This piece right here is a piece I haven't even finished with. I was looking around the shop one day, and there was this piece of wood laying down there that it was old, dried up, and I thought I'd just screw around and turn it. And I turned it more, and then I said, well, I'm going to do this with it. So I pierced almost the whole thing, and I'm not going to pierce the bottom of it. But in the process, it's just broke over here. But I never throw anything away. I had a redesign on this one. This used to come around level like this, but it broke right here. So I took my trusty pencil out, and I drew this line on it right here, and I picked it up and said, good line.
Did you follow the wood grain when you did that?
I'm sorry?
Did you follow the wood grain when you did that?
Not on this one. A lot of times I follow the wood grain, and I was going to follow the wood grain. I was going to demo on this one, and I was going to follow the wood grain on here because there's very definite wood grain here that you can follow, and it'll look nice. But what I would have done with this was take a pencil. You can hold a pencil on your thumb, you know how to do that, and you run around the edge, and you put a circle around the edge, and then you go in and put one a little bit farther. So you have a piece on the top is so wide that you leave alone, and then you just go in and start piercing on the inside of it, and that looks real good when you do that. And you can go on that with that, like the piece here, and then I went on the inside, and I knew I wasn't going to go all the way to the bottom. And that's when I start following wood grain. I'll follow one wood grain around, and if it looks good, I leave it. Oh, you can see me up there? Yeah. Everybody's looking away from me. I thought I was doing something wrong here. But this is a really good way to do it. And trying to think, I just did another one, but it's back at the shop. But it gives you a lot of different things you can do, just something different in the inside of every one of them. Like right here, I got a dragonfly. So where's that camera at?
Right above it.
It's above there. Okay. I got a dragonfly on this one, and I can put a dragonfly on this one if I want to. But I haven't done that. And this still has some designing to go and some painting to do, and people ask me all the time, what do you paint it with? Well, I don't really paint it. I put it's a wood dye, and you know, if you go in a place like Michael's, I went into Michael's the day before yesterday, and they had a wall about from here to the door with markers, so there's no lack of abundance for markers, and you can get any color you want. And when I was at the state show, not this year, but last year, I bought a whole bunch of these markers. These are from, where the hell is it? Nick Agar. You know Nick Agar?
Yeah.
Nick Agar is a hell of a wood turner, and he's a hell of an artist. And I felt real good when he come over to my bowls and took pictures of every one of them. I said, hey, but they were done with all of his markers, and they work really, really good. So if you're going to buy markers, you can buy them from him, or cheaper, you can go to Michael's and buy them for a lot cheaper. Yes?
Do those bleed when you put finish on them?
I'm sorry?
Do the colors bleed when you put finish on them?
No. Yeah, you put them over top of each other, they're not going to bleed. And sometimes it'll cover up good, and sometimes it'll blend, you know. But they work really good. But one thing that he doesn't have is white. And I raised hell with him. I said, Nick, I said, you got a problem here. You don't have white markers. So I look all over the place for markers, and I found these the other day in Michael's. And I got it, they're not open, are they? The other one was open. So I opened it up and looked at it, and the tip on them is really too small. It's just, it doesn't give you much of a line on it. So when I do dots, like those dots right there, the first time I did them, I had to go dot, 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 about 3 or 4 times in one spot. So it made the dot big enough. But when you're doing acrylic on this ink, the ink fades into the acrylic white. And when I first did this, it was nice and white, but about 2 hours later, it was nice and pink. Because it'll fade. It'll fade. And if you go over green, it'll be green. So what I do is I put them on there and go around with them, and then I put about 4 coats of lacquer on them. It's real lightly lacquer. Now what the lacquer will do is seal that wood. Seal it really good and tight, and you can then put the dot on and it will not fade. But there's a lot of dots on that damn thing. And so it takes a while to do it. One of the things I wanted to tell you all tonight too is where I get my supplies and stuff for doing the not so much the carving, but the piercing and other things. I bought them tonight, but we don't have the thing to use it, so I can't show it to you. I have Tree Line. Anybody know Tree Line? Tree Line is a good company. I call them and talk to the guys, they're real nice guys out there. They'll do anything for you. And anything you need for carving or piercing and stuff like that, they can take care of it. And the guy out there that I'm talking to, he seems to be the same guy I get every time. He's a real nice guy. But the last time I called and ordered the bits to do the piercing, or 35 of them. He said, "All I have 20. Well, I said, "We'll get 15 more." so he got them all and sent them all out to me, and I guess he thinks I'm a good customer.
How long do the bits last? Can you do a whole carving on
Depends
one?
on how rough you get with it. Well, I left it in the car. I brought my piercing machine up, but I left it in the car because we got to do it. But the piercing tool itself, the little drill on the end that you put in there, it's small. And there's a technique to do it. If you don't do it right, you're going to break the damn thing. And they're $2.95 a piece. And if you make 3 or 4 in a bowl, it's going to cost you some money. But what I learned to do, if I was going to pierce this one or right here, you need to be perpendicular to the piece that you're going into. In other words, if I wanted to pierce that right there, I go straight down like this. If you go like this,
We can see
We can
it.
see it.
Yeah,
We can see it everywhere.
We're good.
It's green, right?
well, now I was looking for a whiteboard.
Oh.
But that's all right. If you go at an angle, obviously, you're going to go in here. When you come out on the bottom, you're going to have whatever angle you go in at. And that's not going to work because you come out the other angle, you might run into it and you'll screw everything up. So it's got to go straight up and down. Well, I go straight down on it and I push. I like to go to the left for some reason. You can go left or right or whatever you want. But if you push it too hard on it, or if you twist it like this, it's going to ping, there goes one. And they'll break pretty easy. So you got to take your time with it. And after a little while, you get used to using it, and it's not a problem. you know, you're gonna break some tips, because that's the way they're made to break. And, they work pretty good.
Is the cutting done with the side of the shaft or just the tip?
Is it what?
When you pierce it and then start to move it around, is it, the cutting is being done by the side of the bit or the tip only?
It's about this far down on the tip, just a little ways. And it only has so much cutting edge on it. And if you try to get more out of that, it ain't gonna do it. What was I gonna say?
It only has so much cutting edge.
Ron, talk about the depth of the wood. How thick is the wood when you pierce it?
Well, I have pieces back at the house, in my shop, that are as thin as that piece of paper right there. Too thin, too thin. Luckily, it was Florida red maple, and it's real resistant. That red maple will flex and go all over the place, and it doesn't break as easily. But some of the other ones will break pretty quick. I've learned to make it a little thicker so it doesn't break. You know, because these are fragile. You know, if I thumped it, I could probably knock this out of there. But of course, as it goes down, I stopped this right about here, where the bottom is, and I went right out of the bowl. So the bottom of that bowl is about that thick. But that's okay. I want it thicker because it's a little heavier and they can knock over easy. And I know that I'm not going to go any further than that. So it works out good that it's a little thicker because I've made, this is the 6th one I've made for my great-grandchildren. And they haven't broken one yet. But their mom and daddy's put them right up high on the shelf. So, and it's fun to do them, and they like them, and when they get older, they're going to appreciate them a lot. You know, and there'll be heirlooms for them. But, and to date, the first one I made was for Rebecca. She was the first great-grandchild. And I made her, what did I make her?
Peter Pan, wasn't it?
Huh?
Was it Peter Pan?
No. It was,
That was Jungle Book then.
huh?
The Jungle Book?
My brain today went to Kokomo. But they're all Disney characters, and Peter Pan was one of them. And but they all turned out really, really cute. And I guess they'll have them forever. I sure hope they do. But
Ron, do you use a template to
no,
draw the
I wanted to
character?
show you that. People ask me that. I can't draw. Well, I don't either. Disney draws. Yeah. Now, Molly, she's a whiz. She went on the internet for me. And she had 15 pictures of different things from this one particular. This is
Toy Story.
right there.
Yeah, Toy Story.
Toy Story. And Ronnie P., my great-grandson, likes Toy Story. So we decided we'd do him a Toy Story. But what we do with them, and actually Molly thought this to me, if I wanted to use this Woody right here, I would take and I would cut that Woody out about that far away from the outside of him, and so I had just him in my hand. Then I would take and put it on the side, put a piece of tape. Not cellophane tape, what do you call it? Tape.
Scotch tape.
Huh?
Scotch tape.
Scotch tape. Yeah, put Scotch tape on it. And then, like I say, Molly taught me how to do this. She's a wonder. And she takes her wood burner, and I would take my woodwork burner with the skew on it, and I'd go to the outside of where we're going to go, and just go right down the line, not pushing really hard, just getting through enough to see the line on the other side. And when you get all the way around it, then you can take and just go, boop, pick them all off there. And what do you have? You have the whole outside. You don't have the lines in the middle. And now you have all the shape of it that you want. It's not all out of whack. And you can put it back up there close to it and then just freehand the inside stuff. And again, you just do it lightly. When you got it done lightly, you take all the stuff off, and then you go back to it and go over it again and darken everything up. And it works out quite well.
Can you do that with the wood
The
burner?
next one I'm going to do for one of my great-granddaughters is Moana. I can't wait to do this one. I first of all like that movie. It was really funny.
Looks like you do the characters first before you do the, looks like you do the characters first before you do the
Oh, hell yeah.
piercing.
The first thing you do, no, the first thing you do is turn the bowl. When you get the bowl turned and get it the shape you want it, and then you figure out how many characters you want to put on it, and then you start out with the first character and put them in, and just kind of judge how many characters you're going to get on there. It's a hunt and miss. This is Moana. And this is one of the funniest movies. I really enjoyed this movie. And this is going to go outside the next bowl. And this one is going to be a little different in that I'm not going to have any of this pierced. I'm going to draw it all on. And after I get it all drawn on, they will take the wood burn and burn it all on, and all the different techniques that you can come up with a wood burner. And Molly's got 47,000 of them. She can do all kinds of stuff and make it look like raindrops or whatever. And this is going to be fun to do. It's also going to be hard because Moana down here has this real lacy dress on. That's going to be hard to do that. But when you get to something like that, guess what? Nobody won't know. So you're going to do what you want to do in it, and they say, damn, that looks good. And it just was out there. So don't try to get it exactly like it is. Jeff's question? Oh, no? Okay. Now, that's one set of pictures there that could go on there. And I've got a bunch more. This is a cute one right here. But all of these can go on. So there's going to be more characters on this bowl than there is piercing. But there will be piercing. I'd like to play across from him. What's his name?
Maui.
Dwayne Johnson.
Maui.
Maui.
Rock.
Yeah. And I like the stupid chicken on the top. He's got to be in there somewhere.
Yep.
Yeah, that's cool.
And
You got a
big
big
on the bottom. So you take all the characters that you really like, and those are the ones you use. Okay? And there's Moana by herself. Like this one went on this one right here. That was Bo Peep. And if you look around, you find several different pictures of Bo Peep, so you can make your choice. And some of them are a little harder to do than others. But here's a cute one right there. There's the chicken and the pig. And when you get those on a bowl and you get the whole thing done, it's gonna be a wow bowl. Wow, look at that! You know, that's what's fun about doing it. And here's another picture I showed you a while ago, and that's I had Molly make this because this was my color piece. I could, what the hell color was that? You know, I can look back there and I'll match it up as close as I can. And if you don't match it, nobody's gonna know. Yeah. There's one that might go inside. Now this one, with Moana, I really like this one because it's going to lend itself really well to go right on top of the boat. And the whole thing will be right there. And, yeah, that's pretty cute. Questions? You guys have any questions? No
The
questions?
piercing machine, do
Huh?
you have to have a really high-speed machine like you have?
It's probably better. The machine itself, the drill that you got the bit in, runs 350,000 RPM. That's hauling ass.
350,000?
350,000. And that's done with the regular, done with the regular compressor that we bought from Lowe's. And you don't need any more than that. What's good about that, it's not a pancake compressor. Pancake compressor won't work because it doesn't have enough volume. You have to have the volume because when you start going, you know that whine you hear at the dentist's office? And that's taking a lot of air to do that. So if you don't have a big enough tank, you won't have the volume you need to keep that thing going. And your compressor will be running all the time. So you're better off with a bigger compressor. When Molly did these bowls, here you come, Molly. When Molly did these bowls, she chose the characters on the bowl from a poem. And I had written a bunch of poems. And Molly snuck into my house one night and got all my poems. And
You make me sound very creepy, Grandpa.
It's okay, they don't judge.
I figured it out when the poems got lost. And Molly took the poems home and looked on the internet and she produced a book.
You wrote all those poems? You wrote all those poems?
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
amazing.
Read one.
Huh?
Read one.
Read one? Okay, I'll read this one here. Now, this is on the bowl here. She took the characters out of the poem and put them on the bowl. Now, obviously, there's a whippoorwill in it. Obviously, there are trees in it and other stuff. But there's also
That's
a
incredible.
tree. And she did a phenomenal job on it. If you want me to stumble through a poem, I will. This one is a poem also. That's about the Tennessee Hills. My nose keeps running. This is called In the Still of the Night and the Stir of the Bird. Is everybody in here heard of whippoorwill?
Yeah.
I love whippoorwills. I used to go camping and I'd lay up all night just listening to the stupid whippoorwills. And this particular poem is one I wrote about a camping trip that I took when I was about 13 with 2 or 3 other guys my age in Central Florida. We went out camping in a sand pit across from their house. It was fun. Had a fire burning all night. It says, close your eyes and come with me to a place that I have been. We're going on a journey for our ears to listen in. The sound of the night is so serene. If you come with me, you'll see what I mean. In the evening when the night is still, not a breath of air stir the trees or move the boughs or shake the leaves, the starry sky so brightly shines. From the ebony darkness it brings to mind the wonder of the stillness there and the beauty of our soul to share. She's picking up all these things. The sound of the lonely whippoorwill repeats again above the hill. Down the hollow beneath the trees comes a faraway, haunting answer to these. The campfire now is just a glow. And if you ever sit by a campfire, you're going to relate to this. The campfire now is just a glow with a smoldering smoke in his spire just so. Straight as the arrow it rose to the sky. You ever see it from out there? No waving, just straight up. And you go up about 10 feet and then you go. And then you go up. Here we go. The campfire now was just a glow with the smoldering smoke in the spire just so. Straight as an arrow rose to the sky. Not the slightest touch of wave or sigh. A light dew settled as I lay on the ground, with an incredible oneness and beauty around. Little lights flashed as they flew all around. Those strange little bugs will always astound. I could not sleep with that wondrous sound of half dozen or so whippoorwills still around. 10 miles away, the sound is just faint. The clickety-clack as it went by the gate. The engine whistled with a mournful sound, caused me to settle much closer to the ground. The old locomotive, 10 miles away, was bearing down hard and heading our way. The stillness was shattered as it came down the track. Right there. With an incredible rumble and clickety-clack. When the great steel monster had reached our position, it was reaping the silence as if on a mission. Shut up.
I gotta start doing that out loud.
Hello? No.
Well, you don't want the car warranty?
Listen. No, I'm not going to listen. Okay, interrupted my train wasn't here. When the great steel monster had reached our position, I wrote it this way. It was raping the silence of this on a mission. Molly changed it. It was wrapping the silence as if on a mission.
To be fair, sometimes your handwriting is hard to read.
Yeah.
Where the hell are we? Okay, so 10 minutes had gone since it passed us by. We returned to the silence. I felt a deep sigh. Far away, his whistle he blew once more, to remind me of all the noise that he bore. One last time before the sun was born, in the pre-dawn hours of the early morning. The sound of the lonely whippoorwill come beckoning up upon the hill. Very nearby, I heard the reply, whippoorwill, whippoorwill. Beautiful. One of the things that makes me so emotional all the time are my grandchildren. And I have 20.
How many?
20.
20?
And I'd like to have 40.
Get to work.
And, This is another bowl that she wrote, and it's in here too. I don't know if I can go through it all.
Make her do it.
You know, I've got something else that I brought tonight. If you say no, we won't do it. If you want to hear it, I'm a voracious reader. In the last 3 months, I've probably read 25 books. Anybody ever seen this book? You have? What do you remember?
Not much.
This is Ageless Body and Timeless Mind by Deepak Chopra. Deepak Chopra is a doctor. He was born in India. I'm trying to think of the town in India. But at any rate, he came to this country and he had been just extremely successful. There is 1 million of these in print. 1 million. So he makes good money. But he is a tremendous author. And in the book, he come up with a thing that he did to make a point. And I know you all were looking at these things saying, what the hell was it? What does that look like?
Washer.
It's a washer. It's a pendulum. See? If I go like this way, back and forth, the pendulum swings. All right? If I stop it, and I go this way, it goes that way. If I stop it, I wanted to go another way, I go this way. Now, if I told you I could make this thing go all those ways without ever moving it, would you believe it? Huh?
I believe.
No, Molly? You've seen it done. How do I do that? How is that done? No. Oh, by the mind, yeah, not the eye, the mind. It's done in the mind. In his book, he tells you, in the body, you have multiple billions and billions and billions of cells. Now, all these cells are intelligent cells. They're smart. They hold all the things that you need to get the things done that you want to do. I taught for 35 years, and even teaching out at the shop, one of the things that I hear all the time, and I shake my head and just say, no. I can't do that. How many times do you hear people say, I can't do that? How do you do that? I can't do that. Bullshit. Pardon me. You can too do that. I'm going to show you can do that. Because every cell in your body is intelligent. Every cell in your body has a memory. And if you want something done, you go ask your cells to do it. And he calls it intention. If you get this book and read it, you won't be sorry. What is intention? Anybody know what intention is? I intend to do something. What does that mean? That you're going to do it, huh? If you intend to do something, and you say, I'm going to do this, and that's all you have to do. Because those cells in your body will take it over because they are intelligent cells, and they will take you to fruition of whatever you want to do. Now, I intend to move this like this. I intend to stop it and move it like this. And then I tend to stop it and do this with it. Can that be done?
You just did it.
Yeah, but how did I do it? I did it by
Physically.
physically doing it. Muscles in my hand or whatever. And I'm moving. It's got to move. I move my hand. But I'm talking about doing it and not moving my hand. Keeping it totally, completely still. Now, the stronger you hold it, or the stiller you hold it, the faster it will go. All right? Now, when it starts to go, it's a little hesitant. But then all of a sudden you see it going. And then you see it stop and wiggle around a little bit, and then it goes. And then you wanted to go to the last one. You do the same thing, you stop. Now, I didn't move my hand much to do that. Now, I'm going to get it in a position where I can hold it perfectly still. And we'll see what's going to happen. Because I intend to move this. What do you intend to do when you walk in your shop? Cut your finger off? I don't think so. Now watch it now work. I'm going to put both my elbows on the ground, on the table here. I bet you didn't expect this when you come in here tonight, did you?
Make sure you get this on tape, Larry.
Okay. Elbow on, hand on hand, all right? Now, to further hold this thing still, I'm going to put my hands on my forehead. So I've got a tripod where it's not moving at all, okay? And then we're going to wait and see what this special cell in my body has to do, okay? I'm going to use the other one because it's a little longer. What you can do is drop it on the table to stop it. And then when you're ready, just lift it just a little bit off the table. Anybody else like to try? How the hell does this affect what you do in the shop?
I don't know, but it was certainly interesting.
It is interesting. But how it affects you in the shop is everything you do in the shop, you better be thinking. You better be on point. Because if you get this little far off and the tool slips off and go, that's going to hurt. So it helps you be aware. This is actually an exercise in awareness. How many of you are aware of everything that's going on all the time?
No.
Probably not very many of us. But you have to be aware, you have to focus. It's a focused attention. A focus and attention to intention. I intend to do this. And if you intend to do something, you can do it. But if you, what stops you from doing this? What stops you?
Fear,
What stops you from doing this?
Belief that you can't. A belief that you can't.
A belief that you can. You see,
Is it?
That law works that way as well as that way. It's two ends of the same stick. You're doing the same thing, but you're doing one in a negative way and you're doing the other one in a positive way. If you think negatively, you won't be able to do anything. But if you think positively, why the hell I got, you know what, we're all made the same way. We all got 2 eyes, 2 ears, not 2 noses. And got everything everybody else does.
Does that go to 10 fingers too?
Huh?
Does that include 10 fingers too? Does that include 10 fingers?
Oh, no, I don't have to.
This is woodworking club. We
But
don't have fingers.
they never bothered me. I pulled those off when I was 12 years old. Behind a ski boat. Pow! Gone forever. And they've never bothered me. Because I wouldn't let them bother me. You know, a lot of people let things bother them. And they put themselves in a degree or a state of mind that is negative. And when you're in this negative state of mind, it perpetuates, it grows on you. Don't let it perpetuate, don't let it grow on you. I know you all didn't expect any of this tonight, and if you didn't enjoy it, I'm sorry I wasted your time. But other than that, anybody got any questions?
Thank you.
Huh?
Thank you.
Yes.
If you want to get stuff from Tree Line, here's your address right here. That's the only book I got left, but if you call them on the phone, you got a piece of pencil, here's the phone number.
Well, if you can pass it around, we can just take pictures.
Huh?
If you
Pass it
pass
on.
it around, we can take photographs.
I have that catalog already, Cindy.
Oh, well,
They'll send you that book right there. That's the latest one. And you can get all the stuff you want in there. I didn't say anything about the twinkle lights in here. I got those in Michael's. Michael's has the opposite. And they do everything. They do all kind of flashing. I didn't say anything about this up here either. This was the demo that
Rudy Lopez.
Rudy Lopez.
Rudy Lopez.
Rudy Lopez did. Rudy Lopez did this. He turned it, and he gave it to me after he turned it because he was working in my shop. And he said, "I'm going to give it to you." I said, "Thank you." I said, "I'm not going to leave it like that. I'm going to pierce it." So I pierced it after he gave it to me. And this was a fun little project. It's fun to do, and it doesn't take long to do. And somebody asked me about it the other day. And those that went to the thing, do you remember how you started it out?
Yeah.
You had a long piece of wood about that big around, and you turned it totally flat. And then what did you do?
Flip the sideways.
No, not yet.
Oh,
It
the
was
bolts.
turn this way. You were spindle turning it, and you would turn it around.
Yeah.
And then it did what?
Beads and codes.
You went to the very middle and made a mark and cut a V in it. And then you went here, made another one until you got to the end, same over there. And then you turned it the other way. And that's why you got this here, and that's why those things are on the outside. There was a nice little project. And this one I did exactly the same way, but I did it a little bigger. And it was square on the end when I got through. What the hell was the top of it? I got a hat here somewhere.
Yeah.
You'll see it in here. I've got it here somewhere. Okay, sorry. Oh, there it is. Oh, you got it? Okay. Not bad.
Focus and attention.
Nice.
If you would like to walk up here and look a little closer at these, feel free to do so, and ask any questions. This one Molly did was about Tennessee. I wrote a poem about Tennessee and about the animals in the mountains and stuff like that. And so, and again, look at that deer. That's an amazing deer, isn't it?
Yeah.
The amazing.
Thank you very much.
Ron, thank you very, very much. It was very-
Tell me how you thought about doing that.
This was a 15-minute debate with Grandpa about whether or not it was possible. These bowls, they're my Christmas project every year for Grandpa for Christmas. And
Could you have a better Christmas?
so it's really hard because I don't have a workshop, so I have to do all my turning there. And when I'm in the shop, he's in the shop. So it's really hard to make it a surprise. So for something like this, which I'd never done with different layers, I had to kind of explain to him what I wanted to do and ask if it was possible.
And we did it.
Eventually, it took us a long time to work out what I was intending to do and if it was possible. But
But this is her expertise. Her expertise is the artwork on it after she's done. The different amount of textures she has on this is incredible. I mean, that's one instrument that makes all this different stuff like this. And of course you use more than one, and you can get all kinds of stuff out of it by using different points and holding them in different directions. But again, it depicts the poem.
Molly, did you do the design on the bowl, or did you have the design done before you put it onto the bowl?
so usually it's piecemeal. So for example, the deer I got from a photo online. The bears I got from a photo online. The chickadees, like, it was all separate pictures that I found. I printed them out just on normal printer paper, tape them out, or cut it out and just tape it right onto the bowl so I can burn straight through the paper, because I can't draw. So I just kind of figure out,
You're a terrible artist.
I just kind of figure out, okay, yes, theirs seems about good. And once I get the main characters placed, then after I have those burned through and those are good, then I go back through and I add in all the extra detail, like the trees and the branches and the grass and whatnot.
That's like I was telling you, with that one over there, I did the same thing. Initially I put the characters on just nothing more. There was nothing on it anywhere. But I knew I wanted to have them in this approximate area, and I need to have so many going around it. So I put them on and taped it on, and like Molly, she tapes them on, and she goes around the outside to get the dimensions of it. And then after she does that, it's easy to go inside and put all the other crap in there. And if you mess it up,
Was all that detail, the trees and stuff, done with a wood burner or the,
Yeah, all of this is wood burning, and then I just use Grandpa's piercer to cut out around it.
think you could do a demo on how to do those textures?
Sure.
Simple picture and show
Yeah.
you different tips or how you make the texturing?
Yeah, they got an outlet.
oh, you
There's
got
an outlet?
Yeah, there's an extension for it, yeah.
Okay, I mean, I'm happy to. I have a little chunk of wood in
Set
there.
it right here, man.
Okay.
Set it right here, and I'll give you this piece of wood there, and show them what you're talking about. Anybody want that? No.
Okay.
This would be fun to do with that kid you bring up.
Yeah.
Where's the clock?
It's all back behind the.
Right behind the
table.
table.
On the wall.
There's one right here.
Oh, there's one there too?
Okay, I don't know if my cord's long enough for that.
Do it in private.
Don't be shy, no?
You'll probably knock yourself out.
Yeah.
Okay.
I get it going.
Yeah, I'm about 3 inches too short.
Put it behind you on the left. Put the machine on the back.
I do not see another one, I'm sorry.
Well, no, what I'm saying is, plug it in there.
Well, I can't because that's where the camera is. Thank you so much.
Probably take it 10 times longer.
I was gonna say, sorry, I didn't mean to put this on you, but actually, I'm not sorry.
I don't mind, this is not the first time Grandpa springs stuff on me.
Do you make any of your own tips or burning wires?
I don't, because I use 3 or 4. I'm happy to show you which ones I use, but I try and just stick with those because it's easy. I don't get to do this all the time, so trying to make my own just was never a priority. So
You vary the temperature, or you keep it on one?
I do. So I use a whole wood detailer. This is very nice just because it has the temperature control. The first wood burner I got was one of those little ones from like Walmart where it's you wait for 30 minutes for the brass tip to heat up and then you're stuck with that temperature and it's a pain in the butt. So temperature control is nice. I usually try and keep it somewhere in the middle. When you are wood burning, you want it to get to the temperature where you're able to do a straight line without scorching and without skipping over the grain. This is just a leftover chunk I had. I always have a just towel because ash will build up on your tip as you're burning and you need something to wipe it off. If you let too much ash build up on your tip, it will catch fire, which is exciting.
Is that just a dry towel or what?
I'm sorry?
A dry towel?
Just dry, yeah. You're just wiping the dust off, essentially.
Your tip shouldn't get red, right?
It can.
That's a little.
My tip really only gets red when I'm being impatient, which is unwise. Wood burning is a practice in patience. If you're trying to rush through it, you're going to make a mistake and it's going to make more work for you later. But for example, when I was doing the bottom of this bowl and I was just blacking it out, I used one of the wide kind of shovel tips and I let that get as hot as I could without it just catching fire because I wanted to just quickly make the whole thing black. I wasn't worried if it caught fire for a second, which again, not wise.
So that's burned, that black is burned?
Yeah, that's burned. The inside is not. The inside is just alcohol marker, just black alcohol marker.
I was watching the internet the other day, and there was a girl doing a bowl like this, and she had a torch in her hand, and she was doing the damnedest job you ever saw. She'd hold something up there and do this, and then go, really beautiful. But there's all kind of ways to do it, and if you get in and look at these people doing things like that, you can do all kinds of things. If you watch Molly, you can do all kinds of things.
So 2 textures that I absolutely hate to do, but have to do a lot just because of the subjects I choose, is grass and leaves. They're a pain in the butt. But, so for example, on this piece I've got the large grass in the foreground, and then in the background it just kind of gradually gets smaller as it fades back. So,
Can you see up there?
It's not on the camera, Larry.
so it's, again, just very simple, just do a big old chunk.
Putting it away.
And then as you go back, you're going to just slowly make it smaller again, just tiny little V shapes. And as it fades into the distance, you're going to let it get lighter. And eventually, instead of 2 sides, you're just going to be doing single strokes. Just trying to fade it out. And you're just trying to give the impression of what you're going for. you're not trying to make it look perfectly like grass. But again, it's just a matter of pressure, how long you hold it on there for.
Do you find yourself going over sometimes the same line or whatever?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Now, one of the things I love to do a lot of times is add lettering and script and words. And that, this is actually a chunk that I just made a sign for my sister-in-law for her birthday. But that, I wind up going over each line about 3 times.
And what
Because-
tip do you use to do that writing?
This one here
Round one?
is
or-
the one
oh,
I use the most.
oh.
That's just a straight edge. I use that for almost everything. So I will use that, like, if I were going to be doing the letter M. Again, I would print out what I wanted to do, and then I would tape it to the board so I have
You
an
just
outline,
burn right through the paper?
burn straight through the paper. I do the outline, and then I would go in with one of my shading tips, and then I would fill in the inside. Obviously, that would require me to,
It's very much like turning wood.
yeah,
You talk to wood turners, you talk to 10 different wood turners, they use 10 different tools.
yeah.
You use what works for you and what you enjoy using and what's easiest for you to do. You don't try to force a tool to do something it won't do. So you find one that works for you. And that's what Molly was saying. That's what I was saying a while ago about that one. You know, as you go along, you you change it just a little bit, not radically, but to do what you wanted to do. And when you practice that a while, do it over and over and over and over, it becomes so easy that you just do it very easily.
And just because like, Grandpa uses this tip a lot to add texture. You can see how he added a ton of it here in this V shape. I never do that. I could, but that's just not the style of my pieces. So I use this for shading. So I will use it to kind of just add texture, darken up lines. This is the one I use usually when I'm doing blackout. But that's just what works for me. And the more you do it, the more comfortable you get, the more you're going to find your own style and what you want to do with it. I tend to do a lot of nature stuff because it makes me happy. I do a lot of scripts because I like to do Bible verses for my family members and funny quotes and sayings. It's just what I enjoy doing. People ask me all the time, well, why don't you make a business out of it? Because then it would be a job. It wouldn't be fun.
Yep.
So, that's
Absolutely.
so doing stuff like this is so much fun because I'm doing it for Grandpa and it's things that I love. But yeah, honestly, the more you do it, the more comfortable you get with it. And I started out with tracing paper and doing lots of copies. It wasn't necessary. The more simple you keep it, the better. Again, just find a simple, easy picture online that you like. Even starting with lettering is good. Just burn it through, peel off all the paper when you're done, and then you're essentially going to have to redo it because now you can see what you're doing.
Do you ever hang the cord, make a tripod, just let it?
No, I'm not that advanced. We'll leave that
Let's see if you can get
The
a...
cord is not really flexible.
No, I rely on printed out paper for service. But yeah, I mean, I don't know how to teach it because I've just done it for so long that it's just kind of instinctual at this point. It just kind of happens. But if anybody has any questions, I'm happy to try and answer them.
Excellent.